Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we take the sources you've shared with us and really extract the essential knowledge you need to get ahead.
Exactly.
Today we're focusing on a really specific business problem that's, well, it's reshaping the medical landscape in South Asia. We're talking about digital healthcare strategy for doctors and clinics in Bangladesh.
That's right. And this is a deep dive that's, tailored to the reality on the ground in places like Dhaka and Chittagong.
Mhm.
Our sources make it incredibly clear that the old ways are, well, they're dissolving. Relying just on word of mouth or being the local neighborhood doctor isn't enough anymore.
So the mission today is what, exactly? To lay out a blueprint.
It's to extract the definitive digital blueprint for success. So you understand not just what to do, but more importantly, why these changes are, frankly, non-negotiable.
Okay, let's unpack this right away. Because the sources are pointing to a paradigm shift, that is. It's just astonishing. I mean, how fundamentally has the process of just finding a doctor changed in the last, say, 5 years?
It's been a complete overhaul. And it's all driven by the smartphone in everyone's pocket.
Right.
The data shows this overwhelming dominance of online research. The patient journey now starts online. They're typing symptoms into a search bar, looking for treatments. And this is the key part, searching for local doctors.
So they're informing themselves before they even think about picking up the phone.
Way before. So the first interaction isn't personal anymore. It's algorithmic.
And here's the part that really stood out to me from the sources. The part that I think should make every doctor, sit up and take notice.
The reviews and ratings?
Exactly. The influence of online reviews. The sources say they're now critical for building trust. But this is the staggering point.
Yeah.
They frequently override personal recommendations.
They absolutely do. It's a fundamental breakdown of the old system of trust.
So if my neighbor, who I trust, recommends Dr. X, but Dr. X has a 2-star rating on Google with a bunch of unanswered complaints.
The patient now trusts the anonymous crowd over that personal recommendation. It tells you that the digitally native audience in Bangladesh values transparency and aggregated data.
It's like a single referral feels anecdotal, but 100 reviews feels like data.
Precisely. It feels more comprehensive, more unbiased. So a poorly managed online reputation is probably the single biggest barrier to getting new patients today, no matter how good you are clinically.
And this isn't just about Google, is it? We have to talk about social media.
Indispensable. Especially Facebook and Bangladesh. It's not just for sharing photos. It's where people are actively asking for recommendations for doctors.
So if your clinic isn't on there.
If you're not part of that conversation, you're basically invisible to a huge chunk of your potential patients.
Okay, that sets the stage perfectly. The stakes are high, patients are online, trust has shifted. So let's get into the how. The sources lay out 6 key pillars. Let's start with the foundation pillars 1, 2, and 3.
Absolutely. And pillar 1 is the non-negotiable starting point. Optimizing your Google Business Profile, or GBP.
That's your digital front door.
It's the very first impression you make.
But doctors are busy. What's the single biggest mistake clinics make here? The thing they can fix without hiring a whole new person?
The biggest mistake is treating it like a phone book entry.
Yeah.
Just putting your address and number up and then forgetting about it.
Set it and forget it.
Right. And that's a killer. It needs to be dynamic.
Yeah.
The quick fix is about visibility and interaction. Upload high-quality professional photos, the clinic, the staff, the waiting room. Visual trust is huge.
Okay.
And you have to monitor the Q&A section. If people are asking questions there, you need to answer them promptly.
That makes sense. And that interactive piece flows right into pillar 2, which is online review and reputation management. Responding to 5-star reviews is easy, but what about a genuinely negative one? That's an ethical tightrope.
It is. It's the hardest part.
Yeah.
The key is to never, ever get defensive or violate patient privacy.
So what does that look like in practice?
You respond to all reviews, professionally and with empathy. For a negative one, you keep it brief, you apologize for their experience without admitting fault, and then you offer to take the conversation offline to fix it.
So you're not trying to win the argument online.
Never. You're showing everyone else who reads it that you care about the patient experience. It's a public performance of good customer service.
Okay, that's a really useful frame. So that leads us to pillar 3. The professional, mobile-friendly website. This is the hub, right? This is where they actually...
This is where they convert, exactly. The GVP gets their attention, the website confirms your credibility, it needs the essentials, clear list of services, doctor bios, contact info.
And an easy booking system.
Oh, absolutely. If it takes more than, say, 3 clicks to book an appointment, you've lost them. They'll just go back to Google and find someone else.
Now, the sources brought up something specific for the region here. Mobile use and language.
Yes. First, mobile responsiveness is everything. If the site is broken on a smartphone, it's a failure. Full stop.
And what about language? Is it worth the investment to have content in Bangla?
It is paramount. The sources are emphatic about this. You have to consider Bangla content to cater to the local audience. Using a bad machine translation is actually worse than not having it at all. It just screams unprofessionalism and cuts you off from a huge group of people.
Okay, so we've got the foundation, the digital storefront with GBP, the reputation shield with review management, and the central hub with a mobile-friendly website.
That's the groundwork. Now we can move to the second half of the strategy. This is about active engagement and really expanding your reach. Let's talk about Pillar 4, strategic social media engagement.
Right, so if the website is the anchor, social media is the daily broadcast that keeps you top of mind. How do doctors do this without just sounding like they're advertising all the time?
They need to become a source of credible, practical information. It's less about come to our clinic and more about being a public health educator.
So things like seasonal health tips.
Exactly. Yeah. Think dengue prevention awareness during the right season, or tips for managing a common cold. Of course, you announce clinic updates, but the real magic is interactivity.
Like a Q&A.
Yes. Hosting a live Q&A session where a doctor answers questions builds enormous goodwill. It establishes you as an authority in a way that just posting text can't. You become the counter-narrative to all the misinformation out there.
That's a huge public service.
Right.
And it leads us right into Pillar 5, high-quality, informative content creation. This is how you really build that long-term authority.
It's the engine of authority. This is what feeds your social media and also your search engine optimization, which is crucial.
The sources mention local relevance being key here, so not just a generic article on diabetes, for example.
Well, that's too broad. The advice is to be hyper-localized and solve a specific problem. So instead of just diabetes, you write something like understanding diabetes management in Bangladesh, diet tips for local cuisine.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Or protecting your family from dengue fever in Dhaka, a checklist. It needs to have a title that matches what real people are actually searching for. You're proving your value before they even book.
That is a powerful differentiator. Okay, finally, Pillar 6, embracing telemedicine services. This exploded globally post-pandemic. Is it still a major growth area in Bangladesh?
A huge growth area. It's about convenience and accessibility. It expands your practice's footprint beyond your immediate neighborhood.
So this is for like follow-ups or minor things?
Perfect for follow-ups, minor ailments, or managing chronic conditions for patients who live far away. But there are hurdles.
Let me guess. Security and privacy.
That's the one. You can't just use a standard video chat app. You need to invest in a secure, compliant platform. And you have to market it clearly.
No.
Patients need to know exactly how it works, what it's for, and that it's secure.
So we've covered all 6 pillars: GBP, reputation, website, social media content, and telemedicine. Let's get to the bottom line. What's the actual payoff for all this digital investment?
The benefits are massive. First and most obviously, you build undeniable trust and credibility. You have a professional online image. You're transparent. It just works.
And it gets you seen in a very crowded market.
Absolutely. Good optimization means you show up at the top of local searches. You attract the patients who are actively looking for you. And telemedicine, well, that just blows your geographical limits wide open.
It must help with keeping patients, too, not just finding new ones.
Oh, big time. That continuous communication, the appointment reminders, the health tips, it strengthens loyalty. You're maintaining a relationship even when they're not in the clinic.
And the sources called this cost-effective. That might surprise some people. How can all this be more cost-effective than, say, a newspaper ad?
Because it's about the ROI, the return on investment. A newspaper ad is a shotgun blast. You're hoping to hit someone who needs a doctor.
Right.
Digital marketing is a sniper rifle. You are reaching the exact person who just searched best cardiologist near me. The conversion rate is just so much higher.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory. But let's be realistic. A busy doctor, a small clinic, time, expertise, resources, those are huge hurdles. Who has time to shoot high-quality videos?
The capacity limits are real, and the sources acknowledge that. They suggest practical steps. First, delegate what you can. Train your existing admin staff on the basics, like posting updates or managing photos.
And start small. Don't try to do all 6 pillars at once.
Exactly. Get your Google business profile perfect first. Nail that down. Then move on. But for the really complex stuff, the SEO, the professional content, the constant monitoring, that's when outsourcing becomes the most cost-effective move.
The sources mentioned partnering with specialized groups, like Promly, for example. How does that kind of partnership actually work?
A partner like that handles the highly specialized tasks, the technical SEO, the content creation,
Yeah.
the social media strategy. This frees up the doctor to do what they do best, care for patients.
But the clinic still has to be involved, right?
Oh, absolutely. The clinic retains two critical jobs. First, they have to validate all the medical information for accuracy. That's non-negotiable. And second, they need to communicate regularly with the partner. It's a trade-off. You exchange cost for dedicated, expert results. Ultimately, the sources all point to the same truth. A strong digital presence isn't optional anymore. It's the price of admission for a modern medical practice in Bangladesh. By embracing these pillars, you're meeting patients where they are, which is online, and you're securing your practice for the future.
I think for me, the most defining insight from all of this was that stunning shift in trust. The idea that online reviews now regularly override professional, personal referrals. It puts the digital reputation front and center.
The stakes are incredibly high.
They are. So here's a final provocative thought for you to consider. If patient decisions are now driven by this digital reputation, and if this kind of marketing is the most cost-effective path forward, what is the true cost of doing nothing? It's not just about lost patients. What's the cost to a provider's perceived competence and their long-term standing in the community they're meant to serve? It's a massive professional responsibility to manage that perception. Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.